Ravens fan, the situation we're going to talk about now is not good at all. Rashad Bateman, one of the most important receivers this season, missed Friday's practice due to a knee injury, which cast doubt on his availability for the game against the Chargers. Bateman had been having an incredible season, surpassing his career bests, and his absence could have a significant impact on the team's offense. How will the Ravens adapt without him? Stay with me until the end, because I'll tell you what this could mean for the team and what's at stake for the season. Go Ravens! Rashad Bateman, who is having his best season since joining the Ravens, was an unexpected absence from Friday's practice. He was seen at the start of the session, but didn't participate in any official part, raising a lot of concerns. The initial explanation points to a knee injury, but the team hasn't given details yet, which has only increased uncertainty about his availability for Monday's game against the Chargers. What makes everything more confusing is that Bateman seemed fine at the beginning of the session. There's a possibility he injured himself during warm-ups, which would be an unexpected blow for both the player and the team. Any knee issue tends to be delicate, and considering the Ravens' history with injuries, his situation needs to be monitored very carefully. The fans, of course, are already on alert for any updates in the next injury report. If Bateman can't play, the impact will be significant. He has become one of the key pieces in the passing game, alongside Zay Flowers, and his absence will force the team to look for other options to maintain offensive pressure. This brings us to think about exactly what impact he's had on the offense this season and how his development has been essential for the team's success. Rashad Bateman is showing this season why he was a first-round pick in the 2021 draft. With 531 yards and 4 touchdowns so far, he has been a crucial part of the Ravens' offense. His average of 16.1 yards per reception shows how much of a deep threat he is, complementing Zay Flowers' explosive playstyle perfectly. Without him, the offense loses one of its main components, which could complicate things in a game against a tough defense like the Chargers. Bateman has also become a reliable outlet for Lamar Jackson, especially in pressure situations. His presence on the field not only challenges opposing secondaries, but also creates space for other players to shine. If he's unavailable, this could overload Zay Flowers and force players like Nelson Agholor and Tylan Wallace into larger roles, which doesn't guarantee the same level of efficiency. Another important aspect is how this possible absence could affect the Ravens' offensive game plan. Without Bateman, the team may have to adjust, relying more on short passes or even the running game to compensate for the lack of deep threats. This makes the offense more predictable and easier to defend against, something the offensive coordinator will need to consider. And you, fan, do you think the Ravens have enough players to keep the offense going without Bateman? Drop your opinion in the comments if you trust the other receivers to keep the rhythm. Let's discuss it in the comments. In light of this possibility, it's worth thinking about which players can step up and make a difference. If Rashad Bateman can't play, the Ravens will need to rely on other players to fill the void on offense. Nelson Agholor, who returned to practice after recovering from an illness, is one of the more likely options. With his experience and ability to make explosive plays, he could be an important piece, especially in third-down plays or high-pressure situations. Agholor has already shown he can contribute when called upon, and now he might have a greater opportunity to show his value. Tylan Wallace is another name to keep an eye on. Although he hasn't had many receptions this season, his impressive 25.7-yard average per catch shows that he knows how to make the most of his opportunities. Wallace may not be a direct replacement for Bateman, but his ability to stretch the field could open up space for other offensive players. If he can connect with Lamar Jackson on some important plays, he could surprise. Also, there's Deontay Johnson, who recently joined the Ravens from the Panthers. Although he's played only a few snaps so far, this could be the opportunity he needs to earn a spot in the rotation. As a veteran, Johnson brings experience that could be useful in critical moments. And if the team truly sees him as a safety net, now is the time to test that coverage. The question now is, will these options be enough to keep the Ravens' offense at the same level? Well, we're past the halfway point of the video, but I noticed that you haven't liked the video yet. This is really important for YouTube to keep recommending my content to you, and I'll keep bringing it to you. So, go ahead and like this video. It's free. Thanks. Let's continue. Roster depth is always a key factor when it comes to overcoming injuries, and that's exactly what the Ravens will need to rely on to maintain their offensive level. Even without Bateman, the team has valuable pieces that can help keep the offensive consistency going. Lamar Jackson's flexibility also comes into play, as he can adapt to different types of targets, adjusting his style of play to make any receiver stand out when necessary. With this variety of options, the Ravens have the advantage of multiple alternatives, which is crucial as the season progresses and the competition gets tough. Confidence in Aguilar and Wallace, combined with the experience of Deontay Johnson, strengthens the feeling that the team is well prepared to handle crisis situations. This allows the offensive coordinator to make adjustments during the game and explore different tactics, knowing the team has pieces to stay competitive even without Bateman. This depth, combined with a healthy Lamar, increases the chances of success, whether on deep or quick plays, through variation in style of play. What makes this depth even more important is that in tight games or critical moments, the ability to have different players ready to contribute could be the key to victory. The Ravens' offense doesn't depend on a single player, but rather on a well-trained collective that can exploit the weaknesses of opposing defenses. In the end, the question is how the team will maximize this depth to continue its journey toward success. With Bateman's status in doubt, the game against the Chargers becomes even more important for the Ravens. Facing Los Angeles on the road is never easy, especially with a defense that has proven difficult to beat in several games this season. For the Ravens, every play, every adjustment will be crucial to maintain rhythm and secure and important. The pressure is on the receivers, who will need to take responsibility and not let the team down, something that could define the outcome of this game. Additionally, the game will be a test for the group as a whole, which will have to prove that the absence of a key player doesn't mean a decline. If the Ravens manage to adapt their style and beat the Chargers, the confidence in the roster will grow, especially regarding the team's resilience. With Lamar Jackson always capable of creating improvised plays, even without Bateman, the team could surprise and show that they have multiple ways to win. However, the pressure won't just be on the receivers. Lamar Jackson himself will be challenged to be even more creative to compensate for Bateman's absence. This could result in more runs from the quarterback or even a greater emphasis on the running. The Ravens will need all their resources to handle a tough defense and ensure Bateman's absence isn't an insurmountable obstacle. The expectation now is to see how these adjustments affect the game and how the Ravens respond to the challenge. As we've seen, Rashad Bateman's absence could significantly affect the Ravens' offensive dynamic, but the team has enough weapons to compensate for his loss and continue fighting in the season. The depth of the roster, with names like Wallace, Aguilar, and even Deontay Johnson, could be the key to keeping the level up, but adaptation will clearly be essential. Now, the big question is, will the team manage to maintain its offensive power without Bateman? And you, fan, do you think the Ravens will be able to fill Bateman's absence without losing offensive power? Drop your opinion in the comments. Let's discuss it. Don't forget to follow the updates and stay on top of everything that's happening. See you in the next video.